Welcome back on your hometown station, KHTS AM 1220. We're here on the Neighborhood Watch, where every first and third Thursday we talk about all things Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station related. Here with, in the studio today, is Deputy Jonathan Wilson, Deputy Josh Dubin, and Deputy Regina Yost. And for those of you who are just tuning in, we were talking about ride-sharing services online, and really not to endorse or detract from any of the services. We're just talking about a story that was in the news. It was put out through a Nixle report on LAPD from the Mission Division. So this is not happening in our area. This particular incident didn't happen in our area, but I think it's important to talk about because, again, it's all about kind of responsible choices and being careful and you know, just knowing about what could happen, right?
Right.
And so you were describing this one service, Uber, where you put in your information, you register it to your phone, it has your GPS, and then so if you need a ride somewhere, you can request a ride, which is great if you can't drive, you need a driver, right?
Right.
Call a cab.
And I think the relevance was getting a sober ride home, getting a safe ride home, and not driving drunk.
Right, and it was in the news because this incident, like I said in the Nixle report, was that the police department got a 911 call from a woman who woke up in a motel with a strange man. She left, called the police, and it turns out she had to put this together because there was too much alcohol the night before, and she was kind of disoriented from what happened, which is obviously something you have to be careful of. But apparently it sounds like from the report I'm reading, a bouncer called Uber for her, got her a ride from location, and it took her, the driver didn't have her address, took her to the hotel or the motel.
Right, and I think, there's a couple other things regarding, at least from what I've read in the media. Mm-hmm. Obviously I'm not the first source on this, but the driver was not employed by Uber at the time of this incident. I think that the bouncer, security guard, or whatever the guy was, called him and said, "Hey, I know that you normally do this as a living. I know that she's not requesting it through the phone app at this time. Here, will you take her on the side? Will you take her home?" Or something like that.
Okay.
And then these different events allegedly transpired, and then I believe a follow-up story came out that that there is no charges going to be filed.
Okay.
And that there was some problems locating, or the victim was uncooperative, or something like that. Again, this is not a story here out of the Santa Clarita Valley.
Right, and again, we're taking this from news reports, so it's important to mention that. But I just think it's a good thing, public awareness for people to be aware of these new services that are coming out. And as with anything, it just matters if you use it responsibly.
Right. And so, like I was saying before, that you would request a ride via this app, and they would come to your location and pick you up, and then you would tell them where you want to go, and then they drive you to wherever you want to go, and at the end of it, they bill your credit card that's on file. There's no tipping, there's no cash exchange. It's a cashless system, and then you're on your way.
They automatically deduct tip?
No, there's no. It's a one pricing model. And so then when you get out of the car, you rate your driver with a 1, at least on the Uber app, with a 1 to 5 stars, and the driver rates you as a passenger 1 to 5 stars.
And if kidding.
And if you both, the driver and the passenger, don't keep a certain level of stars, then either party, the driver or the passenger, will not be allowed to use the service anymore.
Well, yeah, I guess from that standpoint it makes sense, because the Uber driver is putting themselves, you don't know who you're picking up until...
Right. So, allegedly the driver will rate the passenger, were you a good passenger? Were you respectful? Was there any incidents that would not make you a desired passenger, I guess? And then you would rate your driver and how good the service is that they provided. So, the reason why we bring this up is because it's about driving sober, and it's about choosing your ride home, and there's a number of different options out there. And we, at least as our station, encourage you to obviously find a sober ride home, but know that there's many different services out there. A friend, a family member. We have plenty of local taxi companies here in Santa Clarita that are available 24 hours a day, and taxis all over LA County. And now these new ride-sharing services are coming up, and they're becoming, more popular here in the Santa Clarita Valley. I've talked to people, whether it be citizens or friends that have used these ride-sharing services, and they've asked me for my opinion about them or concerns about them. And I always encourage them to take to the internet or research them, call the company, and find out facts about them. So
interesting. And something else we wanted to talk about is changing directions for a minute, is the operation that the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station did. Well, it wasn't exactly a Sheriff Station operation. It was a public health department operation in throughout the Santa Clarita Valley.
And in the unincorporated areas.
Okay, right. And so, we got time before the break. Tell me a little bit about...
We got time there, Perfect Hair.
He's giving me 2 minutes. Okay.
He says 2 minutes,
Give me 2
Barry.
minutes. All right, so just kind of quickly, give me the rundown on what was going on. It was last Tuesday and last Saturday, right?
Right. Our crime prevention unit, Deputy Wilson, Deputy Yost are out there with me, and the rest of our crime prevention unit, we partnered with the LA County Department of Public Health. And that was we started this operation, or they started this operation due to complaints and concerns that they received from residents in both the city area of Santa Clarita and in the unincorporated area. And also, we have been receiving a number of concerns from residents here at the sheriff's station.
Just concerns about the quality or
right, what? Regarding people selling food or perishable items unlicensed, regarding people getting sick or getting stomach illness. Different concerns like that. Safety concerns regarding vendors being in the street and possibly getting involved in a collision with a motor vehicle. Different concerns like that. So we partnered with them. They came out to the Santa Clarita Valley, both the city and the unincorporated area, and we did random compliance checks. And we, what would you say, about 30 people?
Yeah, about there.
Yeah, we contacted about 30 different vendors.
That includes trucks, carts, people on the corners selling anything.
And I want to ask you a little bit more about that. We got to take a quick commercial break on our last segment on your hometown station, KHTS AM 1220. Welcome back, Santa Clarita Valley. We're here on your hometown station. Wrapping up the Neighborhood Watch, our last segment. We have Deputy Regina Yost, Deputy Josh Dubin, and Deputy Jonathan Wilson in the studio with us.
Can I ask you a question not related to crime that you might know the answer to? Can you tell me about Colossus?
The closing of Colossus?
Yeah.
Apparently they're running it backwards right now. I don't know if they're going to be doing that.
They've been doing that for a long. That's very popular around, especially around Halloween time and stuff like that.
For the holidays and stuff. But yeah, we just we broke news yesterday that they are closing it down. We saw something online and called them up and after 32 years or something like that. I mean, what's part of the landscape of the Santa Clarita Valley too. It's not just a huge part of the theme park, but apparently it's been undergoing repairs for a while, and they're going to close it down for good on August 16th. So if you're want to get to Six Flags Magic Mountain before Colossus closed down. It's personally the first coaster I was ever on.
So we don't know why it's closing down?
It's an old wood.
It's just
wood. I mean, everything's...
So then maybe you don't want to ride it one last time.
Well, I do. Some people are saying that. Some people have said, I don't want to be the last one on the ride before they have to shut it down.
Especially going backwards.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it doesn't go upside down. It just it takes you really fast. It's a fun classic ride. Yeah. Again, the first ride I was tall enough to go on, which was a big deal. So I think I was 6.
I find that hard to believe there, Perry. You're taller than anybody.
You all know that I used to work there, so I've been on it 100 times.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Was that the first job?
That's right. But we were just talking about the food truck operation that you guys were conducting in. What were the areas? How did you select that, or were you going? Like you said, it was in response to complaints. So were you going in specific targeted areas?
We had a list of emails and concerns from residents. The health department, when we met up with them and had a briefing, they also brought a list, and they showed us these are the areas that people are calling about, and these are the situations that people are calling about. So obviously we wanted to address those concerns immediately, and then it was a routine operation. We just kind of moved through the city and then into the unincorporated areas, and by the time the operation was done, we did 4 hours on Tuesday, and then we did another 4 hours on Saturday.
And specific times and locations where you were.
Well, some of the concerns that we received were at specific times and specific locations, so we had to address those. Right. And then, other than that, it was just random. So we contacted about 30 people, and that ranged from the food trucks to large trucks, box trucks selling fruit and groceries out of them, to little vendors.
Ice cream trucks too. believe it or not.
Wow.
We talked to some ice cream
Those two.
trucks.
There were no violations with the ice cream trucks, right?
No, most
No.
of them, even though they're not from out here, all had their permits from the city. And
Okay. I don't want to
Yeah.
be eating any bad ice cream.
Yeah, no, a lot. Like I
that off
said,
the
we
streets.
contacted about 30 different vendors, and 20 of them were found to be in compliance, no issues. And then 10 carts. The Department of Public Health ultimately seized 10 carts, and the food that went along with them, and they were issue administrative office hearings, and then they will deal the owner of the cart or the person that was selling the food will deal with them directly to get the cart returned and get properly licensed and everything like that.
Ice cream man near Via Princessa and Sierra Canyon. Is he okay? Or Sierra Highway? Is he okay?
I don't think we made it down that far.
I don't think
Okay. Okay.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, because I heard
Wasn't on
something
the-
on
You have
the.
ice cream for
radar.
another week.
All right.
Your ice cream, yeah, you're safe for today.
That's good to know. All right. So, you just got to watch out for your neighborhood. And again, you can find out about this stuff getting the Nixle reports. Type Nixle Santa Clarita into Google, and you can figure out from there how to direct from your neighborhood crime reports that Deputy Yost and Deputy Wilson are putting out for you guys, letting you know about the trends. So it's a
Right.
good thing to know.
And then, of course, our Twitter at SCV Sheriff. We have a Facebook. If you just go to the top search bar, you can type in Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station. We have a great partnership with HometownStation.com.
And one thing I wanted to mention, we got quite a few calls and views and emails and about it. There was a home that was tagged in Canyon Country. This is not a regular occurrence, but it was something. It was a nice neighborhood. There was a one particular problem house in Canyon Country, and you had received numerous recalls.
Right.
Right. And you worked with the city, and essentially
Right.
now the house is boarded up and red tagged.
Right. And it's my understanding our SIT team, the Crime Impact Team, kind of took the lead on this and worked along with the city of Santa Clarita. And there was numerous arrests made out of that house over the past 6 months, ranging from weapons to drugs to the theft of utilities and different things like that. Unfortunately, there was an older female that was taken out of there under some less than desirable living conditions. And I guess the backstory to it involved the owner of the house passing away some time ago, and there's some legal stuff going on there.
And so things just got kind of out of
Right.
control.
It's kind of a revolving door.
Right.
Okay.
So
And that's not. I mean, have you guys ever had to do that before, where you're boarding up?
we have. It's not that common of an. We don't do it that often.
Right. It's only in extreme circumstances.
Right. And we were in contact. Deputies and the city were in contact with the neighbors. The neighbors surrounding it, and obviously with the residents of that house. So.
Well, yeah, and right after we did the story, we got calls from residents on that block saying, hey, thank you for doing something. We're glad that the sheriff's department was really helpful. So was the city. But now people are just driving by our neighborhood all the time, looking at like a piece of real estate, like ready to grab it up. So that's unfortunate. But the good thing to know is that something's getting done about the situation. We have 1 minute left, according to Mark Perfect Therapy in his count. So any other final parting words, messages, thoughts, warnings, cautions?
The only thing that pops in my
Issues.
head is lock your cars, take your phones out of the center consoles.
Good
Don't be a
advice.
victim.
Good advice. Deputy
Don't
Yost?
be- yeah, exactly. Watch your kids. Check the time. Check the curfews.
Okay.
Know where your kids are and what they're doing.
Curfews. And when is, for people who might not know, when is the curfew violation
10 p.m.
start? And how old, is it under 18?
Under 18, 10 p.m.
Okay. So fair warning.
And
that's
the
not
last
just-
thing that comes to my head. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. That's not just the city. That's
Right.
a county. That's
Right.
a county-wide
Right.
curfew.
Right.
So
The last thing that comes to my head.
Parting words, Deputy
Parting
Josh
words.
Dubin, take us home.
If you want us to talk about something on the Neighborhood Watch, you can reach out to Perry. You can reach out to me. Contact us at the station, and we'll talk about it on the air.
At Perry R. Smith, at JDLASD, or at SCV Sheriff. Please share your thoughts, complaints, questions, concerns. Thank you for listening. We're here on your Neighborhood Watch every first and third Thursday of the month. With Deputy
KHTS, Canyon Country, Santa Clarita.
It's 11 o'clock. Time for NBC News on your hometown station.
Radio, I'm Bart Neckert. President Obama making no apologies for the deal that led to the release of Army Sergeant Bo